Hey everybody, David here, and today I want to do a video talking about who I think this power broker is going to be in the Falcon and Winter Soldier. So this is going to be a couple of fan theories, some that I've seen online throughout Twitter or social media, YouTube, whatever, and from other YouTube pundits or YouTube podcasters out there or YouTubers. And I want to put my own theories out there, as well as some of the ones that are already out there that I want to put my own opinion on. So here I have six people or suspects on who this power broker could be. Just know that none of them could be right, but I'm going to go out there and throw my opinions there. And I kind of ranked them from... I'm not going to say what number they are. Well, who knows? But when I do this, I'm not going to say like number one is, number two is that, and number three is that. I'm just going to say who I think is, but there is an order. I did put them in here from my least suspect to my most suspected, who I'm hoping it would be kind of thing. So let's get right into it. Starting with the first, I said I wasn't going to number them, but whatever. Starting with our first suspect, Zemo. Zemo is a suspect that I've heard out there that a lot of people think that the power broker could be. My opinion, though, on Zemo is that Zemo right now doesn't make much sense. Why? Because he is someone that's against this power broker person. Because the power broker wants to create the serum, the super soldier serum, and get it out there or use it for his own good for all we know. He made 20 vials of the super soldier serum, and he wants to make more. That's why he hired that doctor from episode 3 that we saw. But Zemo killed him. Why would Zemo kill him if he doesn't want to make more? What would he want with these serums if it was Zemo? Zemo just does not make any sense in all of this. There was a part of me at first that did think it was Zemo, but then when I thought about it through, I was like, no, Zemo doesn't make much sense in this particular instance. So I am going to rule out Zemo right away. So next on the list that I've heard people talk about, and it did cross my mind as well. As a matter of fact, when I was watching this episode episode 3 with my brother, he kind of mentioned, is it Sharon Carter? And I was like, oh crap, you know what? I didn't think about that. And at that point, I was thinking about it for a little bit. But even her, I started thinking, that doesn't really make much sense. Because why? We know she's a good person. She fought on the side of good. And I mean, could she turn the other way and is like, I'm going to create super soldiers here? I don't know. I think that's too much of a big stretch for that character. And I just don't see her. She seems to have soured on the idea of what a hero is. Even thinking that maybe even Steve kind of, and his world did crumble a little bit after Winter Soldier, but I don't think Steve gave up on hope and optimism. I think he was always that light, that shining beacon that always tried to bring people up. I just don't think Sharon Carter fits the bill at being the power broker. Could she be working for the power broker, though? That's a different question. That could be a little bit more interesting. Because we did see her talk to some woman after the big fight at the end of episode 3. She talked to a woman saying that the situation's getting worse or whatever it was. So I don't know. Is Sharon Carter working for the power broker? That could be a possibility, I think. Let's continue on. Who else I think could be the power broker? John Walker himself. That's right. He's hunting down the Flag Smashers for stealing these vials. We know the power broker wants to get his hands on these Flag Smashers. I mean, it's kind of there. And all he would need to complete himself to be exactly like Captain America would be taking the super soldier serum. So John Walker is a very likely candidate. However, I do not think it is John Walker. Now, the three next names that I'm going to be talking about are characters that I think could be very likely to be the power broker. And some of these are going to be huge stretches. One of them will be a huge stretch. The other two, maybe not so much, because the next one that I'm going to mention was actually a fan theory from, if you watch the YouTube channel Film Theory, they came up with a really interesting theory that it could be Dr. Arnam Zola, played by Toby Jones from Captain America: The First Avenger, and then he showed up as a computer. I guess, transferred his brain waves to a computer program where he is now living within the internets, if you will. Kind of like Ultron. I bet him and Ultron even stumbled across each other while Ultron was taking over the internet. Arnam Zola in the comics, eventually comes back as a computer program, and we did see that a little bit in Winter Soldier, but what we didn't see was the next step of his evolution of that version of that character, where he even gets a body and puts his computer self within that body. That could be a possibility, and it would not surprise me if Arnam Zola has returned from the grave to some capacity and it turns out to be the power broker at the end. I don't think so, however. I'm not fully going with this one, because I do feel like Falcon and Winter Soldier are trying to keep it grounded. This series, more grounded than the usual MCU film. Because this series is definitely inspired by the Captain America movies, Winter Soldier and Civil War. And those, even though they broke the mold of the groundedness in Civil War because of the superpowered part, it was still grounded to a degree. So if they were to bring in a cyber genetic human, half cyborg, whatever you want to call it, I think it would be stretching too much of the groundedness in this series. But then again, Sam went undercover in last week's episode, and we were supposed to believe that all those criminals didn't recognize him as the Falcon when everybody else in the world recognized him as the Falcon. So, I mean, maybe there are a couple of stretches they could take. Who knows? Next up, the Red Skull is a possibility. I think the Red Skull could show up in this series. Now, I don't think he's as big as a stretch as a cyborg Arnam Zola or a computer program with a body Arnam Zola. I think the Red Skull is a little bit more grounded now that he's out of that spirit trance on Soul World. Now, if you remember, you're probably wondering, David, he was stuck on Soul World. How can he be back? The Russo brothers and Marcus and McFeely, the writers of Infinity War and Endgame, did say once the Soul Stone was taken, that allowed the Red Skull to be freed from that curse. So now the Red Skull is able to go wherever he wants. And maybe he wants to come back to Earth finally and complete what he was trying to do. So, I don't know. I think the Red Skull, to me, this would be a great twist to see the Red Skull come back. I think a lot of fans want to see the Red Skull back, even though Captain America's gone. Why can't he come back? I think it's a good one. I think the Red Skull is an interesting one that not a lot of people are considering. And maybe after the whole Mephisto scenario, maybe not a lot of people want to talk about high-fetched fan theories, but I like the idea of the Red Skull coming back. Finally, I have one more guess. This is my final guess for the Power Broker. I think it could be the Mandarin. Now, I'm not talking about Trevor Slattery or the guy who... What was the character's name in Iron Man 3? The main villain, who is played by the guy from Memento, who I'm forgetting his name too. I think this will be the real Mandarin, because we do know that Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is coming out. Now it was moved to this November. It was supposed to come out this July. It was moved back to November now. Or October. Maybe it was October. Either way, I think this is a very big possibility that the Mandarin can show up, because the showrunner of this show did confirm that this series will be setting up 3 other Marvel properties. What if one of those other Marvel properties was Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and we actually get to see the Mandarin? Another reason why I think this could be a very big possibility. This is probably the one that I'm latching onto the most. Another reason why could be a very big possibility is because there is rumors that Batroc the Leaper, who we saw in episode 1 of this season, has been rumored to be appearing in Shang-Chi in the Legend of the Ten Rings. That's a rumor, so don't take that with a grain of salt. So if that turns out to be true, what a great lead-in if we find out, because Batroc the Leaper might be coming back in these last 3 episodes. We'll see. He did escape from the planes, so from the first episode, so he's not dead. We know he's out there somewhere. What if he is working for the Mandarin? I mean, it's a possibility, and we see at the end that maybe he comes back at the end, accomplishes whatever mission it is he's doing, and he grabs those vials, whatever remaining vials he has left. Or maybe they fail the mission, and then Batroc has to, or maybe the Mandarin sends for him and, hey, get over here where I'm at. I don't know the actor's name that's playing the Mandarin right now in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I should have searched that up, but I do know that they do have an actor already cast. We're going to see the real Mandarin. This is not the fake Mandarin played by, oh man, I'm so bad at names today. What the heck is going on? And this actor, I should know. The Trevor Slattery, we'll just call him, because that was his character's name in that movie. Yeah, I mean, that to me is the big one. I think the Mandarin, it would be really cool if the Mandarin turned out to be this power broker type character. So, I don't know, guys. Tell me your theories. Who do you think the power broker is going to be? Do you think any of my choices are good? Any of these choices that I listed? Or maybe there's a character that I didn't even think of. Let me know in the comments section below. Start a conversation about this. Let's figure out who the power broker is. We're in the last 3 episodes now. Anybody could show up. I know a lot of people are probably burned about the idea that Mephisto didn't show up in... maybe it's Mephisto for all we know. Mephisto is the power broker. He's finally going to show up in Falcon and Winter Soldier. It was not WandaVision. It's this show that he's going to show up in. I'm joking. But who knows? Maybe anything is possible. Maybe this is going to be like the, Kevin Feige's like, you thought Mephisto was going to show up in WandaVision. He's showing up in Falcon and Winter Soldier, bitches. That would be funny if Kevin Feige actually said like that. With that being said, I hope you guys like this video. Please like this video. That always helps with the algorithm on YouTube, as well as commenting. Commenting also helps. And with that being said, until next time, everybody, take care.